Linda, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. Linda, for anybody who's watching this, Linda Taylor is the leader of the council, and she's doing tours around Cornwall, talking to local people and asking about their problems. We just had a very full-on meeting in the pub across the way. We've had to come out, and we're in the church because it's half term. Kids everywhere. There's a noise, which is lovely, but not good for a podcast. So, Linda, thanks ever so much.
No, not
It's
at all,
really good.
please.
You've been 4 years as leader?
4 years.
Tell me about it. What's the good bits? What's the bad bits?
I think I think the best part is having that opportunity to meet so many interesting people. It's also that opportunity to see how businesses are developing and being humbled at the community spirit, especially amongst the volunteer sector, and just seeing the work that people do relentlessly day in and day out, and not looking for any recognition because they just want to get involved. They want to make a difference, and that's particularly humbling. So, um, it's all about the people for me. That's what I've always found really, really rewarding.
I can get that totally. And we're in a place where you get a lot of people helping each other. And there's honestly, I don't think I've known anywhere as good as Cornwall for it. I've got to say, it's very close knit and very people. There's always somebody there who's a problem to help. I'm a list here of what I could ask. Are you Cornish?
I am.
Oh, where are you from?
I was born in St Ives, and I'm really, really proud of that. Um, and I'm really proud of the fact that there's not many of us left, but I'm also really proud about the fact that people choose to come to Cornwall because either they want to come and live, which is fabulous, but also because they also want to get involved in the community, and and that's good. But I am very proud of being a St Ives girl.
I think anyone would be proud to be Cornish. What? Tell us about what else you've been doing. You haven't just been doing this, have you?
You mean in my working?
And you work in life,
Yeah. Well, perhaps the little known secret I did. I was a police officer in Devon and Cornwall Police, but my family started sooner than what we thought was going to happen, and that's where I met my husband. He was actually my tutor and my sergeant.
All right.
Here we are, 45 years later, still happily married. Um, I then went into banking and ended up being a manager and looking after some branches at HSBC within Cornwall, of which St Ives was one of the branches. So I was immensely proud to be able to interact more with people in St Ives being the bank manager. Um, I took early retirement, and it sort of lasted about 6 or 7 months, and somebody came along and said, "Would I stand for Cornwall Council?" And I said, "Yeah." That's been it really. So, yeah.
And then you so is it 2 terms you've done now as councillor?
I 2017. So I went in then on that intake, and sort of within about 12 or 13 months, I became the group leader, and then in 21, I became the leader.
And how's that going down?
It's interesting.
I bet.
It is interesting, and sometimes it's more, if you're a leader, not just the council, but a leader of your own political party, sometimes a lot of energy has to go into keeping your own party happy and absolutely making sure you communicate well. But I hope that people look and see that I've always been, in my opinion, very honest and transparent, and I've always wanted to listen and engage with the other group leaders. And I think I'd like to be remembered for being fair and
That's
just.
certainly how I found you as a councillor. I have a lot of respect for you. I know you came down here before and you met with me, and we had a problem with the bus service. People just parking and the bus couldn't get around the corner, said we're not doing it anymore. And you managed to get that bus service back for the old elderly people up there.
But that was because of you, Pete, inviting me down and meeting your residents. The only thing I do hope going forward into the next council meeting is you don't stand up and say, I haven't paid me bar bill.
Do you remember? Linda doesn't drink, and I made a big thing of saying in the council, I've managed to pay your bar bill. I've taken out a small loan, but it was actually a mortgage. It's
Anyway, was very funny, for anyone who might, well, with the council, they probably thought, gosh, this is Linda up against the bar going, glug, 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 glug. But no, but thank you. And it's when people work in different ways. And I've enjoyed the invites to come down and meet with your residents. And I like the fact that everyone feels very comfortable and they rock up and they air what they want. So I'm going to say thank you to you, Pete, for being a good counsellor, because this is what it's all about, isn't it?
It's great. I love it. I love it. And one thing I would say to you, and there's a very huge respect for you in the way that, and we're miles apart, I think. Or we're not miles apart, but we aren't on the same page politically.
We have a different political views.
There was, but one thing we would agree on, and you've been very strong in this, is going against sexism, racism, homophobia, and I've seen you do it 2 or 3 times from the witness seat.
Yeah.
Especially about when the people in Newquay,
Yeah.
were getting the refugees in Newquay, and I've got to respect you for that. Now I think that's very good. A lot of people aren't like that, and it's a shame because in Cornwall we've got with such a welcoming group of people. That's why we're all down here from Nottingham, place, like me. We're such a welcoming group of people, and I don't see that in the Cornish people. I don't know where it comes from, but so thank you for that.
No, but
Respect.
community is really, really important in Cornwall. And I just think that, times are changing and we've all got to live together. We've got to work together. So let's try and make life as harmonious as we can for one another.
Yeah.
And it's just as simple as that. And it's really just as simple as respect.
Yes.
And we must never lose that.
No, and politics sometimes not forces us to lose it, tempts us to lose respect
Yeah.
because we have very different arguments. But we should never forget that. I think that what have you learned from being leader?
Well, I think I've always been good at negotiation, but my negotiation skills have to increase considerably from time to time. And I also think as well, it's made me even more aware of the art of collaboration.
Yeah.
Because you can't do everything on your own. And even though we were the majority administration, things work better if you can work together collaboratively across the chamber.
I think you're totally right, and it's sometimes that goes astray, and it has recently a few times, and I think that's a shame. But certainly the people of Cornwall want us to speak as one and want us to get on and do things. What would you sorry now? Are you not standing again?
No, I'm not. No, I made the
I'm sorry about
decision.
that.
Well, thank you, but I made the decision, nearly 20 years in politics, which is probably not a lot to some people, but I started off as a parish councillor, went on to be a town councillor, represented Kerry as a district councillor, Cornwall Council. It's in my DNA. I will not be able to stop because I've always somehow wanted to help and try and make a difference. So, but I am standing down in the end of April, and I want to see what's out there and just see what other opportunities there could be for me, or where I could think, right, I'd like to get involved because I feel I have something to offer.
Good luck with that. Look. Now we're getting away from politics. Well, I'm into politics, but a little bird tells me you're a big fan of Oscar Wilde.
I do love Oscar Wilde. He is absolutely my favourite author. And when I read Oscar Wilde, I also think about the circumstances that led to having to leave the UK or England or Ireland and, move over to France. And I think that's sad because it wouldn't happen today, but we all learn. And I also think as well, Oscar Wilde probably didn't realise that he had a foe who was incredibly more powerful than him. But I do love Oscar Wilde. I love his wit. And my favourite book is The Importance of Being Earnest. And that in itself is quite psychological.
One book. Yeah, very good. And I certainly is his favourite of mine.
Yeah.
As well. And yeah, he did. I mean, that what happened to him was, happened to Alan Turing as well. And that's shocking things. Yeah.
And when you think of the contribution Alan Turing made to the war,
Helped you on the war for it.
yeah, without doubt. I also love the Picture of Dorian Gray. That's probably my all-time favourite.
It's a good book. I've read that a couple of times. And
It seems. How many of us have got that picture.
Yeah, and I had so I still have. I was at in a pub a little while back, and the DJ, there was a DJ there, and he was playing Northern Soul stuff, which is where I grew up,
Yeah.
and I could feel my legs going, and I started doing this, and then I caught sight of myself in a full length. Where's that 18-year-old who weighed about 11 stone? And another bird that tells me, she said you like monkeys. I don't know whether that was a 60s band or the
Well, I do like the monkeys,
Yeah.
but I love documentaries about monkeys because when you actually look at their behavior, when you look at how they, they form their communities, how they can ostracize, some poor little monkey, how that individual then tries to fight his way to come back. Um, yeah, just absolutely fascinating. And there's just when my husband first went away to university, the first soft toy I bought him was a monkey. We sat on his seat in his rooms in Bristol University. There's just something endearing.
It's I took when you go on holiday, I always put a classic book in the bottom of my bag. It never comes out. It's usually Lee Child or something. But I put Tarzan in there one. Have you ever read it?
Yeah,
I couldn't believe how good it was. I mean, we've seen the films and all that, but basically an allegory of the animals are more honest than we are.
yeah.
And
So you've got that little farm, of course.
oh yes, I watered down was
Yep.
so but they quite dark. Tarzan, right? So I think it's the sort of book that everyone thinks of it.
Yeah.
Like I did, but when I started reading that, I could put it down.
No, it's very, very good. I love reading anyway. Yeah, I've got favourites.
It's I have to get it. The book has to grab me, otherwise
Yeah.
I've got books started all around the
Yeah.
house.
I have a great big pile of books lined up in one of the bedrooms that I'm hoping that I can pay more attention to when it comes to the end of April.
You had more time. Linda, thank you. Is there anything you want to ask me?
You're standing again?
I am.
Yeah. Looking forward to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I am. I'm looking forward to if I get back in. Yes, I am. It's I love it. And I never thought I would.
So out of interest, do you think how people reacted to Cornwall Councils? Do you think anything's changed?
No.
Has COVID made a difference?
COVID was it was a bad time for everybody, wasn't it? But
Yeah.
no, it hasn't. And I think I mean when I had a bit of a nervous breakdown when I first started, and Rob Nolan said to me, there's three things to the job. There's the council, and what you do on there, the committees. There's your party, and there's, in your case, St Agnes. Pick one to start with, then gradually get to the other. And I thought, well, I'd pick St Agnes because then people voted for me.
Yeah.
And I still do the same. I do go on committees, things like that, but my heart is doing things for people in St Agnes. That's what I want to do.
I think you know, we've taken their trust. They put their trust in us as local councillors, and that's what they want to see, that we're absolutely definitely acting on their behalf. Yeah.
My son stood for Parent Porth last time, as in Libden.
Yeah.
And he was only 18. And the Navy had already signed up the Navy, but they said they'd given 4 years grace.
Yeah.
He got in. And he learnt an awful lot from that. And one of the things he learnt was I think if people vote for us, I always go and stand outside the booths on the day.
Yeah.
If people had got up, got dressed, gone out in the rain or whatever it is, and put their cross against anybody, because it's not just us. I mean, people died to get the vote. And but we should respect that.
Yeah.
And Guy said he had a lot of people come up to him and said, I wasn't going to vote for you, Guy, but now you're here. You're the only one that's turned up. I will do. And I think that's, people need to know that, okay, they respect us, but we respect them back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's me, Linda. Thank you ever so much for coming.
No, not at all.
Have you enjoyed your day?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah, as we were talking beforehand, this afternoon was the sixth Meet the Leaders meeting this week.
That's heavy, and we're on Thursdays. They've been did 2 a day.
Yeah. From Newquay yesterday. Yeah, where was I yesterday? Newquay in the morning and Wiltshire in the afternoon. So
Gosh, that's a fair way away, isn't it?
yeah, but it's good, and I think we've got to be accountable. And
Yeah.
as a leader, you can't hide away, or you shouldn't hide away. You should be there to answer as best as you can.
I think it's always difficult with it. I will never go on the cabinet. I will certainly never be leading anything if I was asked. It would be asked, but because it takes you away from a lot of cabinet don't get voted back in. because people say, I never saw him. Because they're from Bude to Penzance, and just thank you ever so much for coming.
No, Pete, thank you as well.
Appreciate it.
And everything you do. You've got warm hands, by the way.
Oh, yes. What, does that mean warm heart?
Yes.